Why, hello! Welcome to Professor Maggot's class. Today, I'm going to be telling you about the ancient Mayans. Yes, in the ancient Mayans' times, there were temples built. You would think these temples were built by the Mayans, but no. They were built with predator overlords watching. And then there was an alien infestation. You don't read about this in the history books because the government doesn't want you to know. But I know. I know because I was there. Yes, I was there. I like to eat glue.
Huh. What an absolute fruitcake, am I right? Hey guys, welcome to the Trash Picture Show. This is going to be a continuation of myself and Dave Maggot's review of the Predator movies all throughout the month of June. And the flick I'm going to be looking at is 2004's Alien vs Predator. Now, to say I was excited about the release of this movie would have been an understatement. I had adored both franchises from a very young age, and I had gobbled up the AVP comics and games that had come out. I adored this series. So I was so excited to see two of my favourite space movie monsters face off against each other. And then some of the reports about the movie started to filter through. First off, the rating. This was not going to have a hard R or B18s. This was going to be a 15s or a possibly higher G level movie. And yeah, I was trying to rationalise it in my head. Well, maybe they'll do it like Jurassic Park. Maybe it'll be gory, but it'll be creature gory. And then more stuff started to filter through about it was going to be set on Earth in present day. And I was like, oh no. But I went to see the movie. And I tried to kind of turn a blind eye to all its flaws, which was very hard to do because I love the franchise. And you know when you want to like a movie, so you start making excuses, and that's what I did. And then after a while, I really started to hate the movie because I realized this stole most of the plot from the first Alien vs Predator comic, where we had the character of Michiko Nagachi team up with a predator called Dashinde to save a colony on the planet Rushi from a group of aliens which were released by the predators as part of a hunting ritual. Exact same premise for this. This, however, is set on present-day Earth in the Antarctic, and Lexa Woods, played by Sienna Latan, leads an expedition for Charles Bishop Wayland, played by Lance Henriksen, to unearth a pyramid buried beneath the ice. Now, what the party doesn't realise is this is a basically coming of age ritual for Yacha, for Predator warriors. The younger Predators have to test their mettle in this pyramid, in this arena, shall we say, against xenomorphs. And what we have is these explorers, scientists and mercenaries caught between a ritualistic combat between the Predators and the xenomorphs. There is some cool aspects to it. I do like the fact Lance Henriksen is playing the template for the Bishop android and aliens. This is obviously washed away from continuity with Prometheus, as we have Peter Whalen's character, played by Guy Pearce, replacing Henriksen as the founder of Wayland Industries. But I did like that at the time, and there was other things I did like. And I have done a review on this movie, and I ripped it an arsehole. So I am going to try and shine a light a bit more on the positives. But first, let's get the negatives out the way. It was very goreless kind of movie. Not that I was looking for ladders of gore, but you had characters getting head bit, you had characters getting chest bursted, you had characters getting impaled and entrapped in netting. And there was little to no blood. Now, there was a special edition released with really bad digital blood, which I don't know if it matters. But by and large, it was a very gorgeous affair. And maybe you can overlook it because at the opposite end of the scale you had AVPR, which over fucking done it on the gore. I'm going to let Dave tackle that one in the next video. But by and large, it didn't feel in essence like an Alien or Predator movie. What else didn't go well with this was it felt more like Indiana Jones than Aliens. It felt more like an adventure romp than a space horror or a combat thriller of Predator. The cast, they try to get you to like the cast, and some of them you do. Lexa Woods is fantastic. Ewan Bremere was good as a geologist, and Lance Henriksen was interesting as Charles Bishop Wayland. They cut out some really good scenes with him, actually. You can see them in the deleted scenes where they flesh him out a bit more and make him more of a three-dimensional character. But by and large, the rest of the characters were forgettable. I couldn't remember half their fucking names, and they were cannon fodder that I gave neither a shit nor a piss about. They were there just to be eaten by the predators and aliens. The creature and practical effects were pretty cool for the most part. I have my issues with it, but for the most part they were pretty cool. The xenomorphs were really nice. They went back to kind of more refined look on the xenomorph, as they had done a very kind of sham shitty job on Alien Resurrection. The predators were too big and bulky. Now you could rationalize this because in the comics, I'll give it leeway for this. In the comics, the predators are wearing a lot of armor when they're hunting aliens, so you could let that off. But for some of the scenes, they just look like kind of hockey players or rugby players. They didn't really look like kind of standard Yacha warriors. When Scar, the predator that teams up with Lex, takes off his mask, I was just, it looked like something from a Jim Henson studio rather than ADI. And Alec Gillis said that they were told they had to make a heroic predator, they had to make a handsome predator, which I'm like, what the fuck? You can't possibly make a Yacha, a predator, a kind of indelible or kind of, dare I say, handsome creature. They're not meant to be. I mean, the tagline is, you're one ugly motherfucker. There was a lot wrong with this movie. That said, and maybe I've kind of softened in my old age, there is fun to be had. And as a result of this movie, I was able to show my nephews and nieces and some of my younger cousins an Alien and Predator movie, which got them, in the later years, got them into the franchise. So I do like the fact it was a stepping stone for younger people. And you could go, okay, this movie isn't great, but it's part of this bigger universe that is way better. So it was a stepping stone to get younger people into it. I do like, there's some really nice nods in it from both the movies and the comics. For example, when Lance Henriksen's Bishop, Charles Bishop Wayland, is in his office, he plays five-finger fillet with a pen, just like Bishop did in Aliens. The Predator masks, they wake up the predators who are in cryosleep, just like the Crude and Nostromo, so that might be hinting that some of the Weyland-Yutani tech is Predator tech. The hunting rituals of the Predators are taken straight out of this comic here, really good comic, where they break off the finger of a xenomorph and they use the scarification to mark them in their success for the hunt. So there is a couple of nice Easter eggs and nods. Is it a good movie? No. Is it a terrible movie? No. I think that the main Achilles heel of this movie, and I originally thought that it was having it as an adventure, but if you look at it a particular way, you can't really have an Alien versus Predator movie that has the atmosphere of the original two, because then you've just got two monsters fucking playing a murder in the dark. you should have, it should have been an adventure. The format it was brought in was correct. It was an action adventure movie. I think the main Achilles heel for this movie now was the fact it was set on present day Earth, and the other thing is it nullified the threat of the xenomorph. Ripley had fought all through the Alien movies to prevent a xenomorph infestation. So now that they've arrived at on Earth, it didn't seem like such a big deal. And yeah, I think that they missed out on a chance to explore different lores, different cultures, different planets, and maybe had the colonial marines face off not only against the xenomorphs, which we've seen, but also against the predators. That would have been very interesting. If you are looking for some really good Alien versus Predator stuff, I highly recommend some of the novels. There's some fantastic novels out there. There's some great video games. You have Alien vs Predator Extinction for the PS2. You have Alien vs Predator for the Xbox 360. Love this game, adore this game. There's also 2 more for the PC, and there is a rake of comics. You have Alien vs Predator Eternal, really good comic written by Ian Edginton, and the art is by Alex Melvey. You have the Chris Claremont Alien vs Predator comics, very crazy but great fun. You have Alien vs Predator War, which expands a bit more on Michiko and her adventures, and you have the comic that started it all, Alien vs Predator, an amazing comic. If you get a chance, try and track these down. There are 2 omnibuses that contain all the Alien vs Predator stories, so I highly recommend you check them out. And speaking of checking things out, make sure you check out Dave Maggot's channel. He's an awesome guy, and we're having a great crack doing this. So my name's Martin, this has been the Trash Picture Show, and yeah, like, subscribe. Have you read any of the comics? Have you read any of the novels or played any of the video games? If you have, leave them in the comments below. And yeah, give Dave Maggot a sub, because he's an awesome dude. Take care.